President Moon Jae-in is looking to radically overhaul the hiring process in the public sector to make it fairer all round. His administration wants to make it less about who you know and more about what the candidate will actually bring to the job. The presidential office is also moving to get closer to the public, opening up the road in front of the top office and doing so for the first time in half a century. Hwang Ho-jun has more.
President Moon Jae-in's determination to bring change was reflected in Thursday morning's twice-weekly regular meeting with his chief aides. President Moon ordered the government to implement a so-called blind screening process for hiring new employees in the public sector, beginning as early as the second half of this year.
맞아, 차별적인 요인들은 일체 기재하지 않도록 해서 명문대 출신이나 일반대 출신이나 또는 서울에 있는 대학 출신이나 지방대 출신이나 그냥 똑같은 조건에서 똑같은 출발선을 위해서 오로지 실력으로 공정하게 경쟁할 수 있도록 그렇게 당장 이번 하반기부터 좀 시행을 했으면 합니다.
To ensure such fair competition, the blind screening system will not ask applicants to fill out information such as their academic background, physical condition, or birthplace. Employers will be prohibited from accessing such personal details as well, unless the nature of the job they're applying for requires it. Another change coming soon will affect access to the grounds of the presidential office, Cheongwade. The road between the Blue House water fountain and the Cheongwade Press Center, that is, the only road leading up to the presidential office itself, will be open to the public 24/7 with a minimal security detail. Also, not only will the road be open to visitors, but they'll be allowed to more freely take photos of the complex except for specific security checkpoints. Previously, photos were only taken at a few spots that were heavily monitored. The road to the Blue House has been restricted to civilians since 1968, when the complex was raided by North Korean commandos on an unsuccessful mission to assassinate the then President Park Chung-hee. Those decisions were announced in the afternoon briefing by the head of the Presidential Security Service himself, the first time a person in that post has addressed the media since the service was established in 1963.
We came to the conclusion that our security is more than sufficient to deal with the possible risks of opening the road.
President Moon's initiatives are being seen by observers as his effort to fulfill what he pledged during his presidential campaign: fair and equal employment opportunities and creating a more public-friendly Cheongwade. Hwang Ho-jun, Arirang News.